Bonjour tout le monde, on s'amuse bien? J'ai vu toute la parole des licornes ce matin. Je pense qu'on doit en ajouter une autre catégorie d'animal mythique, disons le ticorne. Ça serait un licorne québécoise qui se fait, je sais pas, 100 millions. Là. On devrait se parler des ticornes. C'est un nouveau mot pour les compagnies québécois. En tout cas, I'm here to talk to you about something that keeps me up at night. I want to tell you something that I think is going to be obvious in 10 years. I believe that in 10 years' time, we will all have a life feed of our lives, and it will be the dominant way by which we organize our lives. It will change how we live, how we love, how we work, how we play. The reason I think this is that about every 10 years, something comes from industry or the military and finds its way into consumer marketing. So for example, client-server computing gave us the home PC. DARPA gave us email and the web and so on. Pagers gave us smartphones and portable devices. And I think we're ready for another one. I think it's time for big data to enter the consumer consciousness. It's like the only slide I can remember from looking at the picture. Catherine Barr refers to this as life resource planning, or LRP, and really what it is taking all the technology of enterprise resource planning and applying it to our personal lives. Now, you may say, yeah, sure, this stuff's already happening, but I'm not just talking about like health bands that monitor your footsteps, or ATMs that look at how much you're buying, or cardiac stuff, or calendaring, or rather, I'm talking about all of these put together. And you may say, yeah, sure, this stuff's happening, but I want you to consider two things. First of all, this isn't really science fiction. I mean, the first thing is that our smartphone, the thing in your pocket, is becoming a prosthetic brain. I can't remember addresses to places anymore. I can't remember phone numbers. I'm helpless without this device. I've abdicated parts of my brain to a smartphone. Things like location. Everywhere I've been is already tracked, whether it's a phone tower or Google Maps. All the traffic tickets I get for speeding, all the taxes I pay, all the vaccinations I do, and if you don't, then you're still going to be subject to this stuff. Sorry, side note, I did this in California. I think I yelled at like a third of the room for not vaccinating. They're all from Marin County. I can say that safely here in Quebec. Cell phone towers that show where you've moved, transactions you've done, whether by credit or ATM, air travel. The problem is all this data exists, but you don't have access to it. You already have a life feed, but you don't have access to that life feed. So I'm going to make a bigger, more audacious presentation here. I think that this is a really important fundamental civil right we're going to spend the next 10 years debating, that nobody should know more about your life than you do. I think that should be a constitutional right. Now, this industry, this life feed industry that tracks us from year zero of our lives is a $1 trillion industry. And there's only a few companies that can pull this off, the really big ones, the Amazons and Microsofts and Facebooks and so on. And many of those companies are already sucking us in. They're using content lock-in and DRM to force us to choose. I just downloaded the new Apple Music, and instead of saying download this song, it was make this playable offline. That just creeps me out. And once you add to that the social graph, which really, really traps you and says, look, you know, if you try and leave Facebook, all your friends will miss you. Did you know that reduces abandonment rate by 7% at Facebook? Like Photoshop a little tear in, Alistair's going to miss you. So the problem is these companies are setting up walled gardens. They have our life feed, but they're setting up walled gardens. And the road ahead is pretty scary because there are tons of consequences to having your life enshrined like this. Consider, for example, what this means to the justice system. If everybody's life is logged and there's a murder, and 30 people, we don't know where they were at that time, out of North America, is that reasonable grounds to haul them in for questioning just because we don't know where they were? I mean, that's way beyond the standard of evidence by which a jury would convict someone. So what happens to alibis in a world where we digitize this stuff? Anybody here still impressed when someone remembers their birthday? Thanks, Facebook. So the more we have agents helping us, the less thoughtfulness matters, because maybe I just have really good software. And these things become our digital confidants. They become these agents that tell us stuff about our lives, that track things, which is going to widen the digital divide. Those that have technology thrive, and those that don't wind up serving us. And I'm not just talking about a change here in technology. This is going to fundamentally alter the human species. We're talking about the creation of an entirely new form of creature. This is a $1 trillion industry because it's going to create this weird, like, Homo connectus, where our lives are being created in a form of a life log processed by an agent and fed back to us through graceful, careful, contextual interruptions. And that will change who we are. I think this is more than just life feeds. This is the slippery slope to a singularity. And everybody who's worried about AI taking over the world, what keeps me up at night is this, that when the machines get intelligent, we won't even notice, because we'll be them and they'll be us. Thank you very much.